You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
And welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. Lubbock Congressman Jody Arrington announced a bill called the Save Rural Communities Act. It's aimed at helping rural hospitals by giving them the option to scale back services to become 24-hour emergency care centers. That's scary, but owners are losing a lot of money at many of those facilities. Arrington says over 40% of all rural hospitals are operating in the red. And the group Raise Your Hand Texas led a joint forum for District 83 legislative candidates this week, with Friendship and Cooper administrators applauding some of the efforts on school finance made in the last session and talking about future goals. But Democrats James Barrick and Addison Perry Franks were the only ones to show. Incumbent Republican Dustin Burrows declined. And this after an Austin American Statesman report on a memo from state Republican leaders urging its candidates to avoid bipartisan forums like this one. Most of us know the drill when it comes to jury duty, right? Summons comes in the mail, we say words we're not supposed to say, and then we wait forever at the courthouse to either be dismissed or chosen for a case. A necessary evil. But would you be more willing to do it if it were a more pleasant experience? The State Bar of Texas wants your feedback, and KMAX West Rappaport tells us about an online survey.
Hi there. The State Bar of Texas wants to improve the experience of serving on a jury, so they put together a survey and they want you to fill it out.
We want statewide feedback from people who have gone to jury duty.
Ever had a good experience at jury duty? Ever had a bad one? The State Bar of Texas wants to hear from you.
We need to know what's going on, what works, what doesn't work.
The bar will make recommendations based on the survey responses.
Maybe there's information we can provide to legislators that they could maybe make a change, or maybe to clerks and judges, to just tweak the process here and there.
Casey Singer is an attorney with the state of Texas and serves on the bar's jury service committee. She says most of the feedback she gets involves parking problems, lack of food availability, and people missing work.
Others just wanted more information about the process, like if a case isn't actually heard, they kind of want some sort of closure as to why wasn't it heard, what's going on.
This small business owner says he wants his employees to miss as little work as possible.
When you're down an employee, you know, it can be frustrating to get through the work days, you know, without them.
Others have enjoyed the process.
Listening to the different stories, the whole voir dire to get even chosen on a jury, you know, I think it's part of your civic duty. I think it was interesting.
This survey only takes a few minutes to fill out online. We've put a link to it on our website. Reporting in Austin, I'm Wes Rappaport. Back to you.
All right, Wes, thank you. We are just as thrilled as we could be to spend 5 good minutes with Kara Darnell, who's a candidate now to become one of the judges, or the judge for the 99th District Court. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
sure
you for
appreciate
having
you
me.
coming in. You know, do judges put a lot of thought into the jurors' experience in a courtroom, or in the end, is it just going to be how it's going to be in any particular court?
No, absolutely. I think it's very important to be considerate with your jurors' time. That's the main thing. When we hear from juries, when we talk to juries after their experience with us, we hear one of their main frustrations is sitting around not doing anything and wasting time while lawyers are talking, or the judge is talking to the lawyers, or whatever it may be. They feel like sitting out in the hall when they need to be at work. That's very frustrating for them. So I think what judges try to do, at least the ones that I know, we try to do our best to be as efficient with our jurors' time as possible. Try to take care of matters that we need to take care of with the lawyers ahead of time, or during the lunch hour, or even after hours, while we let our jurors get back to their daily lives, and do our best with that as we can.
And I can ask you that because I think, unlike some of the other candidates, you are currently a judge of sorts. Explain that to folks.
Yes, sir. I'm an associate judge right now. I was appointed to be the associate judge in the South Plains Foster Care Court. I've been doing that for 6.5 years now. So I've been on the bench for quite a period of time now, doing these hard cases of CPS cases every day. That's all I do every day. I do it in Lubbock, and I do it in 5 other counties around Lubbock, hearing child abuse and child neglect cases all the time. Your basic custody decisions, termination decisions, a whole lot of family law in there that I've been hearing from the bench for quite a period of time now.
And with the 99th being more of a civil litigation court, could be the same sort of things roll through there, so some specific experience with that. Plus, you were a prosecutor and defender at different times in your career, right?
Right. Right out of law school, I was a prosecutor for 2 years. And then for the next 10 years, I did civil litigation. I did some from the defense side up in Amarillo for a little bit. And then I came to Lubbock. When I came to Lubbock, I joined Ray Ferguson's firm and started trying cases from the plaintiff's side and doing more civil litigation in my firm here. And then I also did family law in that firm, filed your divorces, your child custody cases, your child support cases. I did all of that as well. At the same time, I was representing kids and parents in the foster care system and kind of developing a passion for that, and that's kind of what led me to the bench that I'm on now. But right now, I'm really ready, I think, to move up to the 99th. I think that all of my background and all of my private practice and my experience with civil cases and my experience in private practice with family law and most importantly, my judicial experience has really led me to where I am now and makes me the most qualified candidate, I think.
You mentioned judicial experience. You know, I noticed on your bio you talked about being a strict constructionist judge. Now, for those of us who don't have a law degree or even close, explain for people kind of what you mean by that.
Sure. What a strict constructionist judge does is you take the law that applies to the case that you're hearing and you apply the law the way it's written. The legislature does a really good job, and we have some great legislators from this area who represent us well in the Texas legislature, and they write the laws. That's not my job. My job is to read the law that they give us and apply it the way it's written to the case that I'm hearing. Same thing with the Constitution, same thing with the case law that the appellate courts give us. I read all of it, and I apply that law to the case. And if you don't do that, or if you try to slip in your personal opinions or personal biases or anything like that, there's really no room for that. And if you try to do that, I think that you're going to get in trouble with the appellate courts, and I think that the appellate courts will probably overrule you and you'll be hearing the thing over again. So I think it's really important to apply the law and to know the law and to make sure that you're getting it right in every case so that you only have to try the thing one time and you get your people the justice they need and you get them on their way so that they are finished with the courthouse. Nobody likes to be there anyway, so you want to make sure that we get their people their day in court and get them on about their lives so that they can go on about their business and not have to come back.
And final seconds, you know, we've got here a lot of time in and out of courtrooms. Does that help you and all that experience transition into this brief job as a politician? And what's that process been like here over the last few weeks?
Being a politician, a lot of folks will tell you that good judges are not good politicians.
Yeah.
And good politicians don't make good judges, and I totally agree with that. I'm not good at raising money. I'm not good at that sort of thing. It's really not something I've ever had to do before, but I do think I am a good judge, and I think I will continue to be a good judge in the 99th District Court.
Check her out, Maura. Where can we find you online and places like that?
JudgeKaraDarnell.com is my website. I also have a Facebook page and Instagram account that you can all find on that website. You can also just call me. There's a phone number listed on that website. Call me. I'm happy to have coffee with you. I'm happy to tell you more about me, share my story with you, convince you to vote for me because, like I said, I think I'm the best fit for this job.
Well, good luck to you. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.